think I understand why people give Facebook streaming such a hard time. Their interface is just like
Dude, every
inarguably
interface,
worse.
every interface about Facebook is bad. Like the marketplace is really great. Like that's my favorite place to actually buy things, but man, it is bad too.
Yeah.
It's all convoluted.
But like I'm on this
Same with
live.
Amazon, dude. Uh, it's the same shit with Amazon. Like when when I was telling you about getting this like second thing ordered, like it was you can only like go through automated help, but it's not like robot help. It's just like it's like, oh, your shit didn't show up. Well, or this is what happened. Is like I was like, hey, my thing didn't show up, and then it was like, how do you rate your experience? And I was like, bad. I didn't get the thing. Like it's not here. And then it was like, thank you. And then I was like, okay. And then all it says is just like, it's delivered. And I'm like, okay, so hold on. I was like, so then I went looking. I was like, hey, what's the issue here? And it's like, well, you already submitted feedback. I'm like, oh, okay, but where's my shit? Like, where's the thing?
That was never in
Motherfucker, where's my
question.
money?
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, I was like, yeah,
yeah.
I know you think you brought it, but that didn't happen. So like, what's going on? And then I like eventually get to like the chat help, which takes like again like it's like a good half an hour of just like trouncing around their app to be like, how the fuck do I talk to somebody, actually like a person? And then I get the automated thing, or not the automated thing, but the actual. You get automated chat for a while, and then it's like, okay, fine, we'll let you talk to somebody. And you're like, dude, it shouldn't take this long to like wrap it up to get a hold of an actual human, because none of this is making any sense.
For sure.
And,
Yeah.
like,
Well, hey, they wanna get humanity out of every bit of organization or business
so
possible.
I was gonna say this guy overly compensates. He was like way too nice, to the point where when he was like, "Is there anything else that we could do to make your day any better?" And I was like, "Dude, that's really open ended." Like I wanted to just be like, I was like, "Yeah, man, you can come clocking over here. I'm ready to go." But then once I finished that, I got this thing that just says, "Your feedback is helping us build Earth's most customer centric company," and I was like, "Oh." Dude, Bezos, my dude, dog.
Yeah.
You think so? It's like, is that how you fucking humanitarian, dog? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You're doing it all for free, Jeff Bezos. You're just
Yeah,
giving
I mean,
smiles. Yeah.
I will say to their credit, for the most part, I've had like no trouble returning things or having package issues. This is like one out of 100 or some packages that I've had an actual issue with, which is a pretty good, like.
That's a good ratio.
You're batting pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're batting really good generally. So yeah, we'll see. But anywho, hey everybody, welcome to this episode of It's Your Birthday, the only podcast that gets you a gift every single week, and that gift is no different, and it's fucking video games. We got video games came out sometime this week. Nintendo's goofing off, and then things are happening.
Dude, I would say things are happening, but I spent the last week. I'm just diving into it, by the way. I don't give you a choice here.
Dip.
I spent the last week playing Kingdom Hearts 1.5 Final Mix.
Oh my god, I didn't know that's what you meant. I said a thing
And,
about Nintendo, and I thought you're like, yeah, so Nintendo, and then, but it was like, I'm diving right in. Fucking Kingdom Hearts, brother.
That's right.
You know what?
Well, hey.
15th playthrough. This time, Goofy's still fucking stupid.
Hey. I will say, I've never beaten the final mix version, so hey, it gave me a reason to go through that, right? It gave me, any excuse I'll take to play that game
right
again.
Into their hand.
Yeah, of course.
Square Enix is like, yeah, final mix.
I'll say, the thing about Goofy you said that wasn't very nice to my boy,
It was rude.
They get
I'll keep being rude to Goofy, dude. I don't care about his feelings. I don't care about his feelings. I don't care about Donald's feelings.
I got just
I don't
like
even
a.
care. I'll say this right now. I don't care about Kyrie's feelings or the Keyblade's feelings.
Well, that's pretty messed, dude.
Yeah.
That's pretty messed of you to
Well,
say that. But I'll say,
I don't care, dog.
Goofy and Donald don't get good until the end of the game.
Is that what it is?
They're
Like they don't
fucking
become
useless.
good characters, or they don't.
No, so
Really?
I don't know if like the starting questions determine like the skills that your partners get, but it definitely determines.
No, actually, I do know what those do. I don't know if that's one thing I know about Kingdom Hearts. It affects your experience gain up to level 50 and then up to 100.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
One of those questions is like you get more experience up to level 50 and then it cuts off and you get regular again, or you get to 50 into the and then there's another. I can't remember exactly what one of the other choices is, but it's some.
It's like an even pace.
Balanced.
It's an even pace through the whole thing. Yeah. There's that side of it, but I always thought, and I guess I'm wrong on this, that there was like some kind of like change to the way you leveled. Because you definitely like, oh no, it's when you pick the starting weapons. It's when you pick the sword, shield, or the wand. That determines like your health and HP, your strength, defense, and I think it also determines like the first set of abilities that you learn.
Okay.
I think I could be wrong on that, but yeah.
You played this game 15 times. You ain't never check the game facts.
Well, the thing is, like, there's a bunch of new stuff in Final Mix. Like the Final Mix, there's a bunch of new abilities, and they reworked a bunch of stuff. So I don't know, like, how it was originally because I played those games when I was like. Well, I'll be honest with you.
I was
like 15.
I was like in my 28s.
Last year.
Yeah.
No, like, and I don't know. I got a soft spot for those damn games. I can't help it. This time, though, I had never done all this item synthesis, and that's what I spent the last almost week doing.
So you're just synthesizing a weapon? Like, do you have to get stuff to do that, or do you just keep doing it? Like, I don't understand. I don't know how it works.
Yeah, so like it's really convoluted, and I don't know how anybody would have ever done it without.
Square Enix game?
Yeah, of course. I mean, what do you expect?
Weird.
But like the convolution comes from like the fact that I don't know how anybody could have done this without reading a guide, because there are special heartless that spawn that have a chance to drop this thing. There are the mushrooms that you see in the world. Like sometimes you'll come across the mushrooms and they're just fucking around. You cast certain magic on them, and then another one spawns, and you're like, what the fuck does this one do? And a lot of those like special heartless are from Final Mix. But the fact that there's like this huge table of materials, only certain enemies drop certain things. You can only find them in certain worlds and in some instances like certain rooms. You also have to know that until you get Encounter Plus, which increases your chance of running into Special Heartless, you have to, in order to respawn a Special Heartless, you have to run 2 areas in the world back and run 2 areas back to it for the Special Heartless to spawn. If you go out of the door and back in, it'll just spawn normal enemies. And it only has a chance to spawn the Special Heartless. So it's painful... So
you would not even know if you did it anyway. Like, it would... Yeah, okay.
It's painful. It's like the worst part.
What's the point of living?
There is none. There.
No, after but really, like, what is the point of the weapon? I don't know anything about.
Well, the Ultima weapon, it gives you. It's like the strongest one, of course.
It gives you free ice cream at Discovery Kids Zone.
Yeah.
Like,
it gives you.
Get it.
It gives you really cool points.
Blizzard.
Yeah. It gives you cool points at school, so the bullies stop making fun of you.
I've got the ultimate weapon. And he's like, oh shit, I was gonna knock your fucking teeth in, Chief, but you got the ultimate weapon. Clearly you're autistic.
I got friends.
So I'm not gonna fight you.
I got my friends by my side, and then nobody's around.
You're like, I got all my friends here. You're like, right, Goofy?
That's enough.
Just dead silence in the hallway.
That's enough of my middle school biography. I'm good, not recounting.
You're listening for Goofy's voice, but all you hear is your own head hitting a locker. You're like, my friends, right, Goofy?
Yeah. Y'all are here, right? No, fuck. That process.
Christian!
He's in my heart. He's in my mind all the time. Reminds me to play that game every couple years. I can't get escape from it. I just can't escape from Kingdom Hearts.
I would love it if you just pulled out a necklace that had a gem on it, and then under it was just diamond crusted, just said yuck.
Yuck?
You're like,
no, I'm gonna get
with me. It's like yuck.
I'm gonna get one of those diamond encrusted Kingdom Hearts symbols around my neck with a dookie chain. I'm gonna look really cool. And then bullies, they can't say shit because I got cool jewelry, and they,
I mean, it's good because even no one would steal it, so you wouldn't even. They're like, "How much is that worth?" And you're like, "Probably about 10 grand." And they're like, nah, I don't want to be seen with it at all.
Not in my
I don't even
circles.
want to talk to the guy at the pawn shop. It's such a uniquely upsetting piece of
Yeah,
jewelry
yeah, yeah.
that I
That's
don't want him
like
to think it came from me. He'll know it didn't come from me.
that's like off on
He's
if
like-
Pawn Stars, like somebody was like, this
Yeah.
this is like an ancient diamond encrusted fucking butt plug. And it's just like, yeah, well,
Yuck.
I don't think that this is worth anything anymore.
Yeah.
My
Yeah,
grandfather years ago shoved this up his ass and nom. Yeah.
Yeah. Would it if you did find a dildo at an archaeological dig? Would it be of value? Like, would I guess it would still be to someone, but I love the idea of you taking that into a museum and they go, "What is this?" And you go, "It's a wooden dildo." And you go, "Huh? It's from the 16th century." He said, "I go, yep." And you go, "How do you know?" It's like, "Well, we had to try it." You go, "Yeah, I don't think so."
Yeah, I
He's
think
like, "You know what? Now that I
think we're
realize
okay.
that, that's history. This you just put, you just fucked yourself with a history book.
Yeah.
I think you're okay. I don't think I want that." And it's like, well, it still holds up, you know. from
But
the
no,
frame.
but it doesn't have any value outside of that. That's kind of
No.
that's kind of how I see my enjoyment of Kingdom Hearts. It only has
Has no
enjoyment.
value.
It has only value to me. There's no I can't put
Yeah.
that on a resume that I beat Kingdom Hearts 40 something fucking times in my life.
You could put that you've got the ultimate weapon on there though. 'Cause
could.
Then your boss will stop bullying you too. I think anyone you tell, if you're about like, if somebody's holding you up with a gun, and you go, "I got the ultimate weapon," and they go,
Yeah.
"Okay, I almost shot you." Everyone, I didn't know you were autistic.
I didn't know you had I didn't know you had the codes. Yeah. So thus has started my journey of playing the Kingdom fucking Hearts games again. And you know what's funny? I did all that grinding for the Ultima weapon, and as soon as I got the Ultima weapon, I just went straight to the final boss and just beat the final boss. That was a whole like 5 days of getting that weapon just to use it for the final boss. But I have not done the Gold Cup, and I have not done the Sephiroth fight, the Kurt Ziza fight, or the Phantom fight, and then the Unknown fight.
I don't know.
I
I
still
don't know
have-
what the Kurt Zizu is. I don't know what Zazu is or
Well, I
what.
could let me explain.
It's probably fine.
No, it's fine.
It's probably
It's
fine.
just the
It's
secret
probably
boss in
okay.
Agrabah. He's just some asshole. He's like he's not the hardest. Apparently, Sephiroth's no longer the hardest either. Like the unknown fight that you do from Final Mix is apparently way harder. So
But what is unknown of the final? What is he shaped like? What is the creature?
it's an organization member. I think it's Xemnas, but you're not supposed to know that until later. So
Wow.
there
Okay.
you go. Yeah.
Okay.
Well. there
So
you go.
so you are gonna go through all these though again?
I'm thinking so. I mean, I have the collection on Epic. What I'm torn on is that like Epic now has like achievements, right? And so it's like
Yeah.
I know nobody gives a shit about these achievements, but there's something in my brain being like, oh, well, you got to get these achievements.
Oh, I know, I get it. I mean, I've been having played everything on the PlayStation now. I'm like, nah, this is nice. This is better than Steam achievements. It
Yeah.
feels like it means more.
For sure, because they place that stuff like front and center.
Yeah.
Like Steam.
Yeah, well, especially like on the PlayStation 5 and now that I've been messing with it. Yeah, it's like really it's right there in the forefront. They like every time you get one, which I know they've done this before anyway, but they like record a small video of it popping up, but then it comes with like this banner and then the trophy color and you're like, "You did it." And it's like
Yeah.
I have 900 and some of these things, but yeah, no, great. Like it is there's something to it. And then now especially that like weird guide. I think this is true and I didn't know this either, but I think if the game supports that like in progress trophy thing, I think you can just pick on the achievement and it'll sort of like port you to where that
It
happens.
does. Yeah, in
Like,
certain games
that's
gotta like
crazy.
it's pretty cool. Like the Astrobot like speedrun stuff that people are doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just go to those like leaderboards, hit the time on a stage, and like just immediately get there. It's
That's
pretty
pretty
fucking
sick.
rad. It's pretty rad.
That's pretty sick. Yeah, I didn't
Um,
realize that.
But yeah, I'm torn because Chain of Memories on the Game Boy Advance is like my favorite, probably handheld Kingdom Hearts game, and but they have the 3D like remake in the collection. So either I play on the Game Boy and there's no achievements, or I play the 3D remake and there are achievements. So I don't know. I don't know what I do. I have
Well,
no
I
clue.
think maybe if you get the achievements, I think you can look back at it and go, "Yeah, I already did this," and you don't have to maybe do it again.
Revisit it every few
Yeah,
years. Yeah, I know.
yeah.
I
Here in a
know.
few years, you go, "Yeah, I already did it. You're right. I
But
already finished this. Do I really want to do it again?"
Kingdom Hearts 2
And
is
then of
just
course you do.
such a good game. I'd recommend this. I'd recommend this to you since you got the collection. This is the last thing I'll say, and then we can move on. I promise.
Sure.
You don't have to play. Just play Kingdom Hearts 2. Like, who gives a shit about the story or anything? Kingdom Hearts 2 is like the
Right.
best of like the whole thing. It has like the best combat. It does have like the worst magic system in the game, but it doesn't really matter, or in the series. But it is like the definitive kind of game to play. So, yeah, I'll probably get to Kingdom Hearts 2, play that, and be like, well, it's downhill from here. So who knows? Maybe I'll just stop
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I still, like I was telling you in private, not to be let out into the open, so thanks a lot. But I
Oh,
was
yeah,
going to
you're
say,
welcome. You're welcome.
Rechain of Memories seems cool. I'd like to
Mhm.
play that one because I like the idea of it. I like any card game, really, so I'd be interested to see what that is.
Yeah, for sure.
Um,
But yeah,
but
dude.
it's going to be a while before I get to any of them. Although, again, I mean, I'm interested to see Kingdom Hearts 3 because I mean, I played the other two when I was a kid. And I barely remember them and try them so many times, and still just it's hard for me to do it.
For sure.
But that
Yeah.
third one, yeah, it follows all the movies. I like the Pixar movies, so it seems like it's got a lot of those in there. So I'm kind of interested to see what that is.
It's
Yeah.
a
I know.
Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Like it might just be flashy, and I don't care, and I'll just go, this is fine. And
That
then
that
not.
that is kind of what carried me through it. Is that like, damn,
Yeah.
this thing looks really good. And the combat at times is really fun, but there's so if you play it, you'll know what I mean. But there's just the game is getting in your way so much. Like it's
Oh, okay.
it's the thing I hate about games. It's just like, here's this thing, then here's this thing, oh, and then there's this optional thing. But we actually kind of force you to use it sometimes. And like tutorial prompts, like 80% of the way through the fucking game. I just
Oh,
hate when
jeez.
games like keep stopping what you're doing.
Yeah, I get that.
For sure.
We'll
yeah.
see. I mean, it's gonna be a while before I try that because I think after I finish,
Let's see,
I've
and you
been
have
playing
this giant stack of games behind
let's
you.
see.
Yeah,
God,
just
I wish I had
perusing.
something to play. No, I think after I get through, I think I'm gonna take a break and do the next the Uncharted's after that. But I'm gonna do, let's see. I started playing Ratchet and Clank, so I'm gonna probably finish that one, and then I'll probably go back to Last of Us Remastered. And
Yeah.
then maybe I'll start God of War, and then
Telling
finish
you.
off Returnal. I really want to play Persona 5 Royal though. I really want. That's like I keep thinking like, man, I want to play Persona, but I want to see what the PS5 offerings are of the system. You know, I've been trying to go through like what's on
I mean,
offer
you're
there,
already
so
like
currently-
you're like 75% of the way there. You pretty much.
No, I mean I got Demon Souls, I got Ratchet, I got what do we got here? I got Returnal,
Yeah.
and that's about it. So yeah, but again, having not played like really any PS4 games, I'm excited to do that. Oh shit! You know what? Monster Hunter Stories 2 comes out Friday. I forgot. So maybe.
And I just learned it
So-
also has some co-op in it too. So
Yeah.
well,
Well, pick your version because I'll probably end up with both. But I know the Switch one's coming in the mail. So.
yeah, for sure.
Uh,
Yeah, I don't know.
So,
I don't know
yeah.
which one I'd pick up there. But speaking of the PlayStation 5, you and I
yes.
hung out. We did some videos. Those will be coming.
Yep.
And
Pimp
I
My
was
Ride will come very soon. Probably this week.
yeah, Pimp My-
Probably. Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I don't want to let all the tricks out of the bag, but definitely Pimp My Ride.
Yeah.
That is
We got some PS2 classics coming up, and well, classics by anyone's standard, and by classics we mean games you probably have never touched, but they're pretty good.
Yeah.
they're good so
I
far.
I don't think the people that made the Pimp My Ride game touched it. Like I have no clue.
Okay, the more that I've watched our thing in the option the thought of editing it, I will say like it is I can't imagine how else you would do a Pimp My Ride game because it is, with the exception of having to earn your wages to pimp a car, it's pretty close to the show. I mean, there's not really another way I think you could capsule hold together the show and make that a game because like it is about pimping strangers' vehicles. So you gotta, but like the only other thing I could think of is maybe you drive around the city looking for garbage and then you just like bring out your camera crew and you're like, yo, this car is trash, brother. Let me fix it.
For sure,
Which is
yeah.
sort of anyway. I won't get into any of that, but either way, yeah, yeah, some of that's gonna be coming.
But
What
the
were you gonna say? I
PS5,
totally took all that. Yeah,
yeah, dude, playing it, like you had kind of explained it a little bit, and of course I've heard like people talk about like the controller, but dude, I'm still thinking about that thing. Like that's the
yeah,
like
it's
outside of the games and the console itself, like just after playing with the controller, I'm like, okay, yeah, I see what's up. Yeah, I definitely
yeah,
kind of see
it's
what's going on.
like I said. I mean, that's what I told you is like having used it just a DualSense on my computer for like 8 months or so, and then actually using it on its proper system. It's like a whole different controller. It's crazy. Like
Yeah.
I had no idea how much they were gonna use the thing. Like I mean, a lot of the sound design will come through that little speaker, which is for better or worse. But I think a lot of it adds to what's going on, and then the haptic stuff is very nice. Like, and it really feels like I couldn't tell you where exactly the motors are in the controller because it does sort of feel like it's the whole thing has some kind of rumble to it, like backs and like all of it feels that way. And then the triggers, yeah, they've all. I mean, it gives you two more buttons on the same button, or up to three buttons really on the same button, depending upon how they sort of utilize their feedback stuff. But it's like it's really super interesting, and some stuff like it's crazy that like certain things feel like you were saying. You're like, I feel like I'm gonna break this, but it sort of makes sense with what you're like when you're putting a coil together. You're like, wow, coil is not like an easy thing to put back together, and compressing it or whatever. So it's like, yeah, it does kind of feel this like weird rattly sort of
Yeah.
momentum.
That was like the best
Um,
example. The I
there's
definitely
there's a really cool one which I'll have to show. This is one of the things I forgot about. But there's one where you have like a lander, like it's like a seat with two jets on the side, and so each trigger is one of the jets, and you'll kind of steer it this way. But like the engines are like kind of rattly, so it's like speeding up and shaking a bit. But the controller's pressure is doing that too while you're holding. Like it's just like shaking with like the way the engines are moving based on like how propulsion is coming out of it is also reflected in your fingers as it's happening, but it feels like 100% to what's on screen. Like it doesn't feel like it's just doing it when it's doing it. It feels, I don't know, in sync somehow. I don't know,
yeah.
it's really it's super neat. Yeah, I
Well,
don't know.
that's
It's
also walking away from it. You think like, yeah, Sony's going to be able to take advantage of this, and I think Astro's like the best example still, because like
yeah.
Returnal has like kind of the alt fire thing going on. Ratchet has like all the different weapon feels and stuff. But like Resident Evil Village, for example, like from what I understand, that game was actually like primarily focused on development for last generation and then like ported forward. So I don't
Yeah.
think a lot of that stuff like made it like a lot of the controller stuff made it into that game.
It
Um,
it some of it did. Like when you hold like the sniper rifle, like when you're actually going to aim it, your trigger will tighten up about halfway and gives like a resistance to the whole thing. Like you're kind of feels like you're sort of aiming a
yeah,
heavier weapon that you're trying to keep sturdy. And then actually what I think I don't know if I was telling you this specifically of it, but that one is one of the games that has a really interesting use of it for in the menus. Like it'll tinge, or there's a very light like rumble thing when you move over something that you can interact with. It gives you like a little like you found something. Like it gives you like
okay,
a another. So like if your eyes don't notice it, your hands will go, well, something stopped me. So you'll go back and look, and then there's like like a little sound effect with it sometimes too, which works well. It's definitely not near like even Returnal has a lot of it. I mean like raindrops will do it. Like you have like the rain through the controller and the beam and stuff. That one I should have had you actually try that game so you'd have a better idea. But yeah, that game has a lot of it also. And then Ratchet and Clank, Holy shit! Yeah, that one. That all the weapons are use the controller in some way. They're like the like the bombs, for example. Like all weapons, you pull halfway, and that'll be your aim. You pull all the way, and you'll do it. Although there's a shotgun that's like if you pull halfway, it's just one barrel. If you go all the way, you shoot two at the same time. So it's like it's just mitigating the need for button presses by just having everything on one most of the time.
Yeah.
But you can still like aim with the right trigger and stuff, and then the sound effect stuff is there. I noticed it in a few games on the PS4, but I really feel like they never used the speaker or the trackpad all that much.
Well, yeah, the
But
trackpad stuff kind of tracks for the PS4 as well. They don't hardly any games really ever really utilized it. They kind of
yeah,
used it as another button, but that was
well,
like
see, I was gonna say that's the thing about the PS4 controller I liked, and this one too, is like it's just again more buttons that are easily accessible but aren't in the way. So it's like you could theoretically make every direction you swipe on that thing a control, and then you can also do presses and holds on both to do control. So every what I mean is like if your if your mind's up to the task, like you have so many actual buttons that aren't even actually technically. I mean, they're all buttons, but
yeah,
there's a
like
lot you can do with
inputs,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's definitely hands down. It's the best controller ever built. I think, to be honest, like, because I can't think of one I think feels better. I will say the D-pad could be better. It could be a
Yeah,
better
yeah.
feeling D-pad. That's my major criticism about it. But everything and they should have not launched it white. Like I get why, but it gets dirty as fuck. So whatever. But yeah, I think as far as ergonomics, actual feel, and like it's an expensive controller too in its own right because it's like 70 to 80 bucks. But having now used it proper, like the cost feels right, kind of like there's a lot going on. There's like speakers, there's lights, there's a trackpad, there's tiny haptic motors all over the thing. There's a battery inside of it that actually lasts pretty good. It's like 6 or 7 hours. It's definitely more than the PS4 one for sure.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah. The
that one felt like
PS4 was
maybe
like
maybe
dreadful.
4 hours, maybe.
Yeah.
Um,
I remember
so this
playing
one
like
feels
Last
quite
of
a bit
Us
better.
2 on the PS4 and the controller. Like the controller was harder to deal with than the actual game at times. Just like I'm getting through like a really long session and then just like batteries dying. Dude, I'd charge this thing
Yeah,
like overnight. Like, what are you talking about? Like this,
yeah.
pretty
No, it
insane.
dies super fast. I will say too, like, because I still think the PS4 is a great controller though, the DualShock 4 or whatever. Because I think the three is miserable and the two I really don't is fine. Like I don't two is fine, three pretty rough. Don't care for it in most categories. Four they were really getting there, and then this one they like knocked it out of the park. Like
For
it's
sure.
oh man.
And like in my opinion, like where I'm still leaning is like going the Xbox route just simply for the services. But like, dude, that controller itself, like playing Astros and like seeing the fidelity and everything involved with that game, I was just like, yeah, this is. It's weird that Astros Playroom is like a console seller in a strange
Dude,
way.
my only criticism is I wish it was longer, but
Mhm.
it's awesome. Like everything that they did for that game is like just such a celebration of PlayStation. Which this is not new to anybody that's seen it, but if you haven't played it, like all the way through, because it's not very long. It's like maybe 4 or 5 hours, but man, it's just all the little detail. Like I was showing you, is just like they have water fountains that are just like PS3 slims, super slims that you can't really tell unless you kind of get up to it. But you're like, yeah, that's definitely that. And like all the trimmings and floorboards are the tops of Vitas and like the back of consoles and stuff, but all just kind of blended into the wall. And yeah, it's just it's so much PlayStation.
For sure.
But it's yeah, I don't know. It could have. I mean, that as a character, I think could stand on its own. Like, obviously, there's no real like character to him. He's just kind of quirky and cute. But you could look. Knack was garbage, and it looked like shit. You should have made this guy, and you're kind of trying to, but this should have been your mascot, so to speak. He doesn't need to
I
talk. He just
think,
needs to be cute and kind of wander around. And I think that's kind of what they're doing. But
yeah. I think Astro. I can't think of another like PlayStation. Like I don't know, it could be guy with a gun or girl with a gun or guy with a
Yeah, it
sword.
could be Master Chief,
Yeah,
but
could,
it's not. So
it could be yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah. It could be like Kratos. It could be Nathan Drake. It could be
well, I think in a lot of ways it is Kratos. I mean, Kratos is for sure. I mean, at this point, they in a weird way, they have a lot of them because all of their kind of pillars have a good like Aloy is another one
sure.
I would say.
yeah.
Kratos is. Ratchet for sure is. Like they're kind of Nintendo in that same way at this point. Weirdly, by having lost like Crash and Spyro, which would be their other at the while they were sort of coming up, those were their boys.
Well, I mean,
And,
they had enough
Sly Cooper, I
characters
guess.
to do like a battle, like a Smash Brothers ripoff that
Well,
should
sort
have been
of. I mean,
better. Yeah, but
a Big Daddy from BioShock was a character in there, so they were running a little thin. But I think that
yeah,
like,
yeah, you're right. They
not
should have
really.
put
I don't.
Pepsi
When
Man
I
in
think
there.
PlayStation, I'm not like BioShock.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, Pepsi Man
So,
should have been
yeah.
a character. Definitely Ratchet and Clank should have been in that game. I don't think they were. I could be wrong on that.
I think I mean I know Sackboy was in there. Let me see here. PlayStation All Stars roster. Let's tangent out here for a second.
Yeah.
And then we'll get into some news, I suppose.
I did want to
Some
talk about a
interesting
game before we get to news, but yeah, I kind of want to go over this real quick just to see.
Okay, here we go. So Kratos, Parappa the Rapper, Fat Princess, Sweet Tooth, Colonial Radio.
That's
I don't
definitely
know.
from Killzone.
That's Killzone, but I just don't know anything. No, there's Ratchet and Clank,
Okay,
Jack and
yeah.
Daxter. Dante, kind of weird. Tekken makes sense. Heavenly Sword, yeah. That cat was like on a lot of their marketing early on, at least in Japan.
Yeah, that was an iToy character, right?
He was on the memory cards. You could do that. Those like Tamagotchi PS1 memory cards they had.
That's
To
right.
sort of combat the Dreamcast thing. He
Yeah.
was like what you would take care of. The Starhawk dude.
I do
And
like
then,
that they have Raiden in here and not Snake, because I think that's
Because
That's
he was, I
interesting.
think, already in Smash Brothers.
definitely yeah. He was already in Brawl
So
by
I-
the time this came around.
So I wonder if there was some limitation there. I think that's really hilarious, though. Oh, Medieval, yeah, Sir Daniel. I just actually picked that game up too because it was really cheap for the PS4.
Yeah, that game
I
was
kinda- I
actually
kinda looked at it.
free for PS Plus, I think. I don't know.
I'd believe it. Yeah, I mean, it was new for $10 on Amazon, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
wasn't really. But I played it as a kid, so I was interested to see. I also like Cole McGraw from Infamous and evil Cole McGrath from Infamous. Cool
That's-
Cole.
Yeah,
McGrath.
cool Cole, yeah.
Dead Space guy. I get. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not a bad roster of characters. I guess Fat Princess is a little weird, but I kind of get it.
For sure.
But they are. It is. It is about 65% white dudes. If you kind of look at it, you go Sweet Tooth, that's a white guy. Evil Cole and Cole, that's a white guy. Nathan Drake, that's a white dude. Dante, that's a white guy. Hayachi, he's Japanese, but he's still a white dude. We got Zeus, that's a white guy.
He's still a white guy.
Isaac Clarke, that's a white guy. Big Daddy, yeah, he's probably a white guy.
Mhm,
Kratos, he's
mhm.
fucking really, really white.
Yeah.
Prepper the Rapper is a dog. but
He's
white.
like yeah, he's essentially just covered in ash, like permanently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raiden, he's part robot, but if you really get down to it, that's a white guy. Daxter, I mean, got elf ears, but let's face it, that's
If
a
you
white
trace
guy.
the lineage of technology, it's probably just some white dude.
It's probably just a white guy. Hey, Sir Daniel, he's just a skeleton, but chances are pretty good he is a white guy. Spike, I mean, that's Ape Escape, but let's look at it the right way. He's a white guy. I don't know what Colonial Radio is up there in that army suit, but yeah, my chances are he's
Yeah,
probably a white guy.
probably. Yeah, I mean, they're Hellgas. They look like fucking Third Reich soldiers. Yeah, they're all pure blood Aryan.
That's probably a white guy. That's probably a white
Yeah,
guy.
yeah,
Fat
for
Princess,
sure.
that's a white girl. Heavenly Sword, that's a white girl. Cat and Dusty, that's a white girl.
I'm glad that we went through the exercise that everybody in PlayStation All Stars is white.
Well, then you look at Prapper Rapper, that's a dog. Sly Cooper, that's basically a cat. Ratchet and Clank, that's basically a cat. Like it's Topo and Yuko here down here at the bottom, that's probably a cat.
Yeah.
So it's either white dude or cat.
white guy or some
yeah,
animal. Yeah.
white guy or cat. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but
If only Astro was around during Battle or All Stars, and they
dude, you
wouldn't
coulda
have to
had an
put like
authentic,
evil
genuine
coal.
robot.
Yeah, they wouldn't have to
Yeah.
fill it with evil
Or-
coal.
If they wouldn't have sold their own goddamn mascots, you got Ratchet and Clank, you got Sly Cooper. I mean, Sly Cooper's in there, but you got.
You got Crash
It's
Bandicoot,
also weird,
Spyro. Yeah.
They got rid of Crash and Spyro. They're two big sellers. They kept Sly Cooper, but have done nothing with them. Even though those games to me are great, I love the Sly Cooper games. But
Yeah.
they're like, we got this great guy and these great games. Let's not do one.
There should have just been like a Ford Mustang for Gran Turismo. Should have just been like a playable car. Hey,
Yep.
why not?
You should have. Yeah, there should have been. That should have been in there. Let's see what other options we would have had. There could have been. God.
Should have
There's
been
so many,
Robert
huh?
Langdon from the Da Vinci Code.
They could have. You could have thrown a burnout assist trophy. Just have a car fucking wreck into these guys.
Yeah.
Could have an NFL blitz guy tackle somebody.
Could have had the
I mean,
protagonist from Dark Cloud. Come on, Dark
dude,
Cloud
you
1
coulda-
or 2.
Yeah, you could have had Dark Cloud. You could have had Dark Dot Hack. You could have probably got a hold of Rayman because he was a whore and it still is. You could probably get Da Vinci from the Da Vinci Code.
Yeah, Leonardo himself.
Prince of Persia would have made sense. You could have had him in there. But, if you get down to it, probably still another white guy. You got Family Guy. He's white, too.
Yeah, little
You could have
sneak
the Mark of
preview.
Kree. You could have Kree, I guess, from that
little
game. I don't know
sneak-
if that's actually his name.
A little sneak preview. We're gonna be doing those recordings like every couple weeks is the plan, and a certain
Yeah, I bought too many. I got too many games.
too many.
So we gotta play them because I gotta prove some people on Reddit wrong. Otherwise, I'll cry.
We've already played one game that I'm fairly certain we're gonna play to completion.
Yes.
yeah.
We definitely are because that game's hilarious. And then, honestly, I want to pimp more rides. I
Yeah,
really want
yeah,
to
we
pimp
have
some more
to.
rides. Having now reflected in taking in what we did in Pimp City, I'd like to take another trip down to Pimp City. And help
Absolutely.
some people out.
Yeah, we helped out Marcia. Now we have to help out. God, I wish I remembered her name.
Tamprika. Hey, girl, check this out. This time, we did this. Hey, you know what happened this time? We put up all 3 of your kids for adoption, girl. We saw that you don't like kids, so. Hey, girl, we found an abortion test in the abortion kit in the back of your car. So check this out. We gave up your 2 remaining kids up for adoption. And they're like, whoa, Exhibit. And he's like, did you do anything to the car, though? And he's like, yeah, we ran into a ditch and got you some insurance money, girl. You living fat now. And you're like, all right, Exhibit, what's the real deal? He's like, oh, shit, we got you a 10-speed. And you're like, that's a bike, dude. I'm not doing this.
That's what I love, though, is that like in the game they frame it as like it's not a selfless act that you're doing because you're literally just like cloning that vehicle.
It makes no sense. You're driving around the city collecting money to then make enough money to fix this girl's car. But by fixing it, what you're doing is you're getting a duplicate car.
Yes.
And then you're giving that to her while you drive the actual one, I think. And then you pimp 2 cars simultaneously because there's a rival pimp that's pimping a car next to you pimping it. So we're at 4 cars now. And then you give her the one she picks, but then you duplicate that car as well, and that's the one you keep. I don't know, man.
It's
I don't
odd.
know what's going on in that game. You're getting a lot of cars, and it's pretty inexpensive too. Because that first car, you only need $5 to get $5,000 to get fully fix 3 vehicles and duplicate 4 times or whatever we just said. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, tune in for that.
But then
'cause
she,
it's coming.
yeah.
And
she picks which car is pimped better, but your rival can't pimp a car for shit, dude. This is first time pimping, and obviously we've been pimping since, infancy, so it's pretty easy for us to knock that one out of the park.
Dude, that game does have more potential of us goofing on it for sure.
And for all of you, any listeners that have been curious, you can ghost ride the whip. That is a mini game that you do very much get to participate in.
And you don't only ghost ride it, you ghost ride it a lot. Like you do it quite a bit.
Riding.
Yeah,
That's kind of the meat of the game outside of driving is ghost riding whips. It turns out.
it
'Cause
turns
that's
out,
where all the
it's on the back of the
star
box.
and income comes from. Is
Like-
yeah, and I thought that was just a little thing,
That
at
at some
mini
point
game.
it
I didn't
happens.
realize
Yeah,
you're gonna be that was your actual true desire was to fucking ghost ride. But yeah, that game's great. And I don't know if we talk about the other ones yet, but there's a lot here. We're gonna probably go through a lot of the movie games first.
for sure.
They look like a deep well of sadness that I'd like to tap into.
Yeah. We're at least gonna play the one game that we're gonna finish every session until we finish it. But then we're gonna be throwing other games in the mix. And who knows?
Yeah,
Who knows?
couple
By the end of it,
focused games.
By the end of it, we'll
in
be
a year.
playing every single one of those games on the shelf. By the end of it, that's the goal.
At some point, yeah. That's at minimum 200 episodes. So buckle up, kids.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing some PlayStation 2s.
Yeah, somebody wanted to.
And some 3s.
Yeah.
And some 3s. Oh, what's up, good kitty?
He's just, he's just growing.
Got something to say about PlayStation 2?
Yeah.
He's the fucking Redditor. He's like, you're never going to finish him.
Yeah, he's telling me. Yeah,
He's a kitty.
He actually just told me that your purchase was like worthless, and that you should.
I see.
You should just give your money
What?
to charity if you're gonna blow it like that.
You know what? Here's the thing, Reddit guys, because since it's already happened, I remember when you guys were like, yeah, but you don't have a fucking PS5, dog. Why don't you look at that fat porcelain bitch back there, dog? What is that? That's a PS5.
And you paid retail.
Flower base. And I paid retail, and I got $250 back for it, so I paid half, son. So check this out. And Amazon sent me 9 copies of Dark Souls.
You're the wizard of
Demon
deals,
Souls.
dude. That's not even a joke.
Deals were like.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, no, we made it happen. I was really stoked. But honestly, I have to. If anyone at all has come from that Reddit to here somehow, thank you, because realistically, some people on there are the ways that directed you where to do it. Which I would say GYX Deals. If you're looking to get one, is a Twitter account and follow them. It's gonna be really obnoxious because they're gonna text you about everything electronic that goes on sale for the most part. But they will notify you the second there is a PS5 somewhere, but you have to react that second. You can't fuck around or it won't happen.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
all I
blink.
can give the advice.
Keep those eyes open.
And if the company you're using, website you're using, Best Buy, Lowe's, Walmart, whatever, if they have an app, I highly suggest you use that instead because their websites were all shit, but your app will get you straight to where you want to be. And your info's already there. Just saying. It helps because every second counts.
Yeah.
That's not a joke. I don't know how stupid I can make this, but it's not a joke. There is no second to. You can't even consider the option of a purchase. You're like, it has to happen right now, or it doesn't happen.
Yeah. You can't even consult your significant others. You got to be ready.
No. And I will say, I think still Best Buy is probably the best one. I know a lot of people say get it direct from Sony because I think there's a waiting list that you can get on for them somehow. And GameStop apparently, if you're one of their exclusive deals members, which maybe is the only benefit of having that service at this point.
Yeah.
If you're one of their pro members, I guess there's an email thing you can get on, and they'll notify you when they get them before they notify anybody else, I guess.
Yeah, you can also get notified about GPUs because they're going to start selling those.
And that may be worthwhile.
That pro membership has paid off for your boy. I'll just say that.
Did it?
I mean, I've had it. I've had it for years. For no reason.
I thought you meant you finally got a GPU.
No.
I feel like you would have texted me that, but it's
Oh, dude, that would have been on the Discord. That would have been on my Instagram. I would have written an article about it on the website. I would have sung from every mountaintop.
I would have came onto a Post-it note with the date and time, just in my username, just so people know that just happened.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, definitely.
No, I get you.
I guess real quick before we get to news, I do want to talk about this game real quick. Just real quick. I don't know if you...
I mean, what is it?
It's called Cruelty Squad. I don't know if you saw when I was posting about it on our Discord. But this is fucking insane. This game... I don't want to oversell it because, The reviews on Steam when I bought it were like overwhelmingly positive. It's $20. I had like $10 in Steam credit because I bought a game that had a different version that I should have bought other than the version I bought. But anyway, so paid $10 on top of the credit I had. And the reviews were overwhelmingly positive, and people were like really like trying to like sell it in the reviews. And there's a lot of like goofy joke reviews, but it's cool. It's like different. I actually like really like the tone and like the weird like style it has. Like it just looks like look at this menu. Like it's absolutely
Jesus
like ugly.
Christ.
It reminds me of a certain era of like the like early like mid to late 90s.
Well, there are some early PS1 games that didn't run this well, but looked this good. Like, this is like what they looked like, but
they're doing a whole lot with very little here. It's an immersive sim. You're basically part of like this kill squad called the Cruelty Squad. I think they pull you out of retirement or whatever. And basically the whole game is like this almost like tongue-in-cheek like capitalist narrative.
Okay.
You're sent to like kill CEOs because they won't like for example send people to Mars for human sacrifice for profit. There's like a stock.
They won't do that, and that bothers you?
They won't do that. That bothers the shareholders, so you go kill the CEOs. Because the world is like ran by these evil corporations, and you're doing like their every whim and will. But the people you're killing are also terrible. Because like you can talk to them, and they'll give you like lines of dialogue, and like they're just fucking awful like people. There's one dude I talked to that like he basically had the same tone that any like coffee shop like screenwriter that never sold like a screenwriter or a script for like 30 years. He just has that like arrogance about him.
Every customer I have, every
you
customer,
you know the type. You know the type.
I know the type. Yeah, a lot of people with unfinished novels that won't stop talking about that novel they didn't finish.
For sure. That's so like it has this real dreadful like humanity is like at its lowest. This is your room in the game.
It's a nice place.
It's dude. The tone is what sells it for me. The actual gameplay, it's like you have a lot of freedom to do what you want to do, and like you tackle these like missions however you feel necessary. There's several different ways to go about it. Every door looks like every texture, every wall, everything just looks like shit.
I was going to say just the doors?
It's like I don't know.
It's just I mean they've taken the same strategy almost that arcades use, where you have to make the ceiling very boring, the floor's got to look like vomit, and then the walls got to be plain so you focus on the game. And like I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening here, but it is like it does look like a Chuck E. Cheese is like just exploded somewhere.
It's bananas. Like
I don't know. It's crazy. Yeah, it really looks wild.
But I don't think I mentioned there's like a actual stock market in the game, and when you are killing enemies, you can like harvest their organs, and you can trade and sell like organs through the stock market. You can also unlock a fishing pole at certain points, and you can like fish in water to get certain fish. You can trade and sell those. And then, like,
is this an open world game, or is it like levels? Like,
it's levels.
How is this arranged?
Think of like a Hitman or like something like that.
I think about nothing but Hitman, but yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's that same structure.
Okay.
But I can't necessarily say this is going to be like for everybody, and I definitely don't want to talk it up. But if you're looking for something that's like pretty clever on the on the inside of the game, like it's just a very cleverly written, like funny thing.
I think you can look at this and know if you would play this.
Yeah.
Like it's so wild and so specific that I feel like you would look at this and go, yeah, get in there.
Yeah.
Or you would go, there's no fucking way.
I saw like a couple reviews, like legitimate reviews that weren't like jokes, and then I kind of like made a determination based on that. After
Yeah.
watching like some gameplay, and I'm like, yeah, this seems fucking stupid, but it also seems like there's a lot of like freedom to do what you want.
I'm amazed you found a Steam review that wasn't a joke.
Yeah, me too. It's really hard.
Actually, in all honesty, it's either shit tons of jokes or ones that are like they have these like everybody all these weird. And maybe they have a following, so that's why it's happening. But a lot of them will like have this weird metric of how they review stuff with like different star counts that they've chosen out of their pool. Like, yeah, I think I'd give the sound a 7. And you're like, out of what? And it's like, what's the 7? Like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, I've just determined that 7 is a better system than 10 or 5. I pick 7, and 7 is me.
Yeah,
Okay. All right.
reinventing the wheel on some shit.
Yeah.
I
Cons,
understand.
its fart score is pretty zip zop. And you're like, dude, just is it? Do you like it or not? Just tell me and get on out of here.
Yeah, we don't
I'm
need
not
the
gonna
extra shit.
I mean, there's some good reviews on Steam. I'm not gonna say there's
I
not.
promise when I start writing reviews on the side, I'm not going to start them with a weird fucking rating system that I pulled out of nowhere.
I don't really like. I get the idea of scores, but I don't really notice the use case when you've like it. That's the score is only at a glance. Like
Yeah.
the actual article will tell you what's going on. I don't know really why the score is there. I mean, it's like not bad to have, I guess, if your website already has it, I suppose. But it does seem it's somewhat archaic, I guess, at this point because you're just like, listen, everything about this is great. However, there is this thing, and this may throw you off or not. But during it's like the whole game predicated on this thing that happens. So if you don't like that, you don't want this. Otherwise, go for it.
Yeah.
And like, so I don't know. They just seem arbitrary. Anywho.
Yeah,
Anywho.
we'll get through a couple stories real quick. I think honestly we're really just going to focus on the one, maybe a couple others that I put in there, but
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. I mean, because we're to be honest, we're already at an hour, so we might as well talk about
yeah.
this guy and well, maybe we'll pick another one. But yeah, we should. This is the most upsetting one, I guess. So we should.
Yeah, so those cool rumors going around right around E3 and a little bit before then. I mean, this stuff has been going on for a little over maybe around a year, maybe a little more or less.
I'd say the last like 6 months, it's been like a fever pitch about this shit, and it's like every week you're seeing something.
Yeah. This is not
yeah.
it. This is just not it. The Nintendo
isn't.
Switch
It
OLED
really is
model.
Yeah.
Here's the shitty thing.
First off, another great naming convention. We're already starting off really strong.
Yeah. Here's the shitty thing. I want this thing, but
Of course you do. We have the tech sickness. Of course you do.
I want the
But
thing.
that's not the point.
But I know I don't
Yeah.
need it. It's not like, okay, it's not like if they were to announce like a real I guess we'll explain what it is. So the Nintendo Switch OLED model, it has a bigger 7-inch display. It's OLED.
It's basically the exact same system. It has 64 gigs of storage. The screen is slightly larger by about 0.8 inches.
Yeah.
And it is an OLED screen, and they have better speakers and a better stand. But that's it.
Better
There's no
stand.
performance increase. There's no Bluetooth audio. There's no refresh of the Joy-Cons. There's no new D-pad.
The
There's
dock.
nothing at all else. The dock has Ethernet.
There you go. That's
But
I mean,
if you buy a $15 adapter, you got gigabit internet.
yeah, and I have 2 docks with 2 USB adapters. So, I kind of that's the thing. Like OLED screens
like that the dock has rounded edges now.
For sure.
Who cares?
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of it, I think the dock looks built better overall. That's good.
I mean, just OLED screens look so good, and I think that like it's not going to deal with the performance issues that the Switch has, but I think at least handheld mode is going to be at least more appealing to use.
Sure.
Because like,
I mean, you can sell this to yourself however you'd like to, but I would say, like, a same battery life too. That's another big one. If you still had the version 1 Switch and you play it a lot on the handheld, then yeah, I say maybe go for it. If you have like if you have the V1 but you don't play in handheld at all, there is no point. If you don't play in handheld at all, there's no point to this thing. And like weirdly makes it. I don't know if actually I think the dimensions are slightly bigger, which is also obnoxious for using all the same things. You have to now get potentially new accessories, cases, all that other shit. But like, I think my biggest gripe about this thing, outside of like, yeah, they didn't fix the performance at all, is like the screen was never really an issue with the Switch. Like, I honestly can't think of a Nintendo console since the GBA didn't have a backlight that they have complained about a screen on a Nintendo system at all. Like even really like the Wii U gamepad, fine. Like no one
I
really
mean,
said
the
anything
people
about it.
looking at like pixel count through like a microscope are the ones that are complaining about that stuff. But I mean, not your
Yeah, but
not
the
your average
games.
guy. No,
Yeah, but the screen's gonna make things look brighter and more vibrant, but it's not gonna make the resolution any better. As a matter of fact, it's gonna pull it out even farther because they have you have a larger screen now that's gonna be the same distance from your face. So you're
well,
gonna see,
that also
you
depends
know.
on the pixel density of the screen itself, like what the DPI is on that thing, because
Oh, that's
it,
true. Yeah.
it could end up looking a lot more one to one than the actual handheld, and I think that that's like a problem that the
Well,
original Switch had, is that it's not exactly the resolution that the games are playing at.
see, I was gonna say that's why the Switch Lite looks better, but it's smaller, so that's why like the screen is tinier on it. So I wonder if this will blow it out further. I imagine it'll look good. Like I can't imagine it's gonna look. I mean, but the games are still gonna run at 10 frames sometimes.
For
Sometimes
sure.
they're gonna be single digits. So it's like, yeah, this is great, but what? Where's the boy at? And that's the other thing is like I would want this, but I know there's got to be a better one somewhere soon.
Yeah, and
Somewhere soon. There's
so
got to
like
be one.
Jeff
I guess
Grubb,
not.
so Jeff Grubb and some other people were like on Twitter when this thing was announced, because a lot of those people were kind of like playing into playing into the rumors building up to this. But they're
Sure.
essentially like, hey, thinking about, like, they're still like, everything I've heard is to 2022 still. And like the Switch Lite came out around this time last year, right? So,
Mm.
or a little, no, not this time last year. I think it came out like right before the holidays, 2019.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure like right around the holidays in 2019. But like, so they're
September 20th, 2019.
yeah. So pretty close to the end of the year, quarter four at least.
Which is crazy to think that we're almost. No, it's only like 2 years. I was gonna say I'm like we're almost 3 years on this thing, but no, it's not that up and down.
Yeah.
Like, still a while though. It's still like 2 years.
So, a lot of those people are still like, no, like the people I have are credible. It's still like 2022 is what we've all kind of been hearing. So the people out there saying like this year, like it just wouldn't happen. And like Jeff Grubb, the way he put it on Twitter was, he was just like, you expect this to be the last Switch from a company that released like 5 different versions of the 3DS. And so like, I kind of get it.
I mean, I do. It is just, it's the frustrating bit is all that is that the system already needs it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
not that. It's not that I'm upset we're not getting. I mean, I'm upset that we're not getting it yet. And it's not that this is like not cool. Like it's. I mean, again, if you don't have one, sure, this would be awesome. I'm sure it's great. But it is like. Yeah, it's for the last like at least year. It's needed. It's needed a performance push up,
And maybe like the target
stuff.
audience that they're trying to hit with this is either people who have the Switch Lite and want the option to dock on a TV, and so they'll see this
Right.
newer one and be like, "Oh, okay, this one's like really nice looking. Like, yeah, I'll get this one." Or people who have like been on the fence. I don't know. I feel like 5 years into this console's life cycle and you're still on the fence is a little odd, but like,
I mean, if you're on the fence, are you gonna pay $50 more now? You know what I mean? Like, not that that's like a big ask. It's just that thing of like,
well,
if
$50,
you're already holding off,
yeah.
you're gonna be like, well, it's more expensive now, so I want it now.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't think that's not possible, but it is weird to go like, I don't know, unless they're really just trying to phase out the original Switch so they can stop producing it.
I think
And
that's what they're
then-
gearing up toward, honestly. Like, I was going to say that. They did show
Yeah.
like 2 new packages, like one you can get the white version or you can
Oh,
get
it's
the neon
much smaller.
blue.
Yeah, it's like. Well, and that's the other thing is like if that's really the case, they should just sell us the tablet and the dock. Like if the Joy-Cons are going to be identical, there's nothing different about them. Just sell us the tablet and the dock. Why we don't need the other shit,
They are
especially
selling
for
the dock
existing.
separately. That is one thing they're doing at least. So, um,
Okay, but give us the tablet.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, I feel you. I feel you on
I
that.
mean, I don't need the Joy-Con. It's dumb, and then yeah, it's just silly. I mean, it's something for the scalpers to take, but still, like, cut $80 out of that thing, like for Joy-Cons. Okay,
Yeah,
like 220. That's pretty reasonable. Like, I wouldn't hate 220.
yeah, and it's just it's just buying into
Well, not
like
220, like 240. Either way, it doesn't matter. It's a
yeah.
lesser price than this for give us less. We don't need. I don't know.
I mean,
Oh,
just
go
like
ahead. Sorry.
buying into like the story and like the rumors and stuff, and like it's disappointing. And I wasn't like
Well, that's our
completely
fault
sold.
too. You know.
Yeah, yeah, it's disappointing, but I did it to myself, and also like you got to take everything you see with a grain of salt. But I do think
It's just
there's it's a weird conclusion to
the
this whole thing. I do think there's still another thing happening, but I don't think we're going to see it for a while. Definitely not this year.
no. I mean, not now. I wouldn't think. I can't imagine they're gonna release this. It doesn't come out till October, and then they're gonna go, oh, and we got another one coming December, and you're like, what? Why? I mean, if this isn't coming out till October, we're not getting anything this year. There's no
For
way
sure.
because they're not gonna do another one for that.
No, I
Um,
think give it a year
and
or a year and a half, and maybe. But I'm done. I'm done thinking about it. Like maybe it's like for the
yeah,
best that this thing happened because now I can just be like, yeah, whatever. When it happens, it happens. You know.
and I'm kind of, I'm definitely. And the sad thing is I was like, I'm pretty done getting third party games on the Switch that aren't like smaller indie titles now, and I mean that's kind of how it's been anyway for a lot of it, but it is like you can't trust any of those games, so there's no way, especially especially now seeing the fidelity of this, like the current generation. I think that they're gonna leave them. Like unless
Yeah.
it's again, unless it's a game that's uh, like you're not getting Psychonauts 3. I mean, they're gonna start doing the cloud streaming stuff, and maybe that's what this is. Is that's the push to get everybody with an Ethernet adapter so they can start pushing cloud because they can't do anything else. So
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Which I think honestly that's my biggest guess because you're looking at like Guardians of the Galaxy. They've already tried it with Hitman. There's no other way to get that fidelity out of the system unless that's what you're doing. The only difference is it still can't output 4K anyway. Even if it's streamed, you're not going to get that. So, and unless unless somehow the dock can output 4K through that HDMI if it's streamed in.
No, they put all the tech specs out. It's still it is identical to the other Switch, like verbatim.
No. I mean the dock itself, like the dock HDMI. Like if you're
Oh, for
streaming
late.
out,
Yeah. Okay.
if you could, like, say it has a USB or an HDMI 2.1 on it, so you could do 4K at whatever. If just so that the system can trick the TV that it's being streamed in at 4K, so you can put that on there or something. I don't know. Again, I don't know enough about that side of it, but my guess would be that this is a push to put more stuff in the cloud because they're not going to get them physically on there anymore,
Yeah.
size wise or performance wise, because
I still think eventually Nintendo gets there, but I don't know. It's always like this.
yeah, but by then we're gonna have 8K, Christian.
I
We've already
know,
got
I
8K
know.
on this stupid
And then I'll
box.
have robot knees and be decrepit. I know. We're
Yeah,
all getting
yeah,
old.
yeah.
It's just like I am tired of like Nintendo kind of playing like catch up to what everybody else is doing. I've had the same screen up on the thing forever, but
That's fine.
no,
I
like
mean, yeah, I am too because you see the games they make and the potential they have. You're just like, just give us get the performance going, please. Like you make such good games that look so good already. If you had I mean, think of like if you could have put, and this is so generic of a thought, but really like if you could have put Breath of the Wild intended on like the PS5 hardware or the Xbox Series X or whatever, that's what that was intended to be on. Think of how fucking good that game would look and run.
yeah.
Like, it's upsetting because those experiences that Nintendo is making are definitely worth seeing, but fuck if they're not hindered sometimes. I mean,
Yeah.
usually the first part is not that bad, but I mean, even Breath of the Wild, even a game that launched on the system had some pretty rough performance stuff and still does. So
Yeah,
it's
like
like
you go into one of the villages and yeah, like
those are. I will give them those are a lot better now because I played
yes.
through this game not that long ago. They're a lot better now, but either way, it's still like they're not as good as they could be, and that's a launch title. Usually, launch titles is like, not I guess not always, but launch titles you usually see a good potential of what can happen. But by now, we should be seeing like fucking knocking it out of the park stuff. Like this is everybody getting a handle on the system that we're using,
Yeah.
and like this is when, you're really like, all right, let's fucking pump out the hits because we know how to develop for this thing now. So let's really get something going. And again, the games are good generally, but Pokemon not great. The online stuff pretty rough. Like I
And
mean,
that's
we're
the
talking
thing I
single
also
digits a
thought
game.
about. Like, if this thing doesn't have any added performance and Pokemon Arceus is still technically releasing like early next year, dude, that thing
Yeah,
looked so bad. That thing just
it
looked
looks like a bummer.
abysmal.
It looks like a real bummer for a game that you could be really good at, and what it also kind of seals if the game is not good is like this is that idea everyone has asked for Pokemon for a long time, and if they give us this and it doesn't work out, that's it. We're probably not gonna ever get another attempt at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where like, all right, you guys begged for it and you didn't like it, and you're like, no, but there's multiple reasons why we didn't or whatever, because it's just looking rough. I mean, it's still probably. I don't know if it's coming out next year or early this year. We're kind of far along for you to go. That's just we're to show what we're showing.
Yeah, and from what I
I don't know.
understand is that like with the pandemic and COVID, like Nintendo kind of like from what people have said, like had a lot of issues like adapting to a different work culture and like work from home. So like a
Sure,
lot of
my guess would be that they're pretty communicative there because it seems like a lot of their stuff meshes with a cohesiveness that most games don't have.
yeah, but like you look at like
So
I feel like if 2019 or 2020 didn't happen the way it happened, I do think that you would probably see like some more stuff. Maybe not like released, but we probably would have seen more of like maybe Metroid Prime 4, or at least like teasing that game a little bit more, a Bayonetta 3.
yeah.
Who knows? I mean, we'll never know about it, but I do think benefit of the doubt, like maybe they also made a business decision, like, right now supplies are hard to get for like manufacturing chips and stuff. Like, do we want to repurpose some consoles we maybe already have in the pipeline to support a new screen? Or do we wait like another year and like potentially have our profits drag behind? Or do we like,
The
I don't know, like
the
lot of
way I
angles.
see it and the way that I think it's happening from what I've gathered from watching like other videos and some other stuff, like which is hit or miss, maybe what it's all hearsay. They weren't right about the Switch Pro, so whatever. But the more I think about it, the more I've heard is like it feels like Nintendo has basically like they have this lineup of stuff that's already like basically finished. And then they're just like, well, where are some lulls so we can just... Because that seems to be the way that they release stuff is like, here's this game, it's out in 2 months. Which seems like them going, we're already done with it. Here's some time for you to get ready for it. But it's coming here now. So it seems like they've got all this shit just finished and just like sort of like tweaking or whatever, but are just like, all right, we got it just whenever. Because I think... From what I understand is like that Zelda 35th anniversary stuff is still happening. They just don't have a reason to put it out yet. And they're just like, all right, so beginning of next year or when we if something else gets delayed that's planned, we'll go, all right, we got this. And like just kind of fling it out there and go, here's this thing.
They really should
which-
re-release those games on Switch. They absolutely
Dude,
should.
that's the crazy thing is it's like for the first time we're really saying like, hey, Nintendo, re-release a game you've already released 3 times, but really give us this game again. Please give us this game again.
Yeah, I mean,
Like it's rare that they're not like, nope, not gonna do it because it's like, we want it. I know y'all fucking love releasing this shit again. Just
Yeah.
do it, please.
it's just like Zelda's like elevated above it, man. And the other thing is that like Metroid, for example, they got Metroid Dread coming out. Trying to play any of those original Metroid games leading up to like the only way you can play Fusion or Zero Mission is if you have a Wii U and happened to have purchased it on the virtual shop or the virtual console. I don't
No,
know.
no. I think the only way you could get Fusion was you had to be that ambassador. So when you were like the first people to buy a 3DS because they didn't fly off the shelf, they gave you those 12 Game Boy Advance games they never sold again.
That's
I
right.
think that's the only way you can play Metroid Fusion is if you're somehow a Nintendo ambassador.
Or the Wii U does have the GBA games. They never brought them to 3DS. But
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
yeah, like if you wanted to revisit the legacy of that shit, you either have to have one of those old consoles or a Game Boy Advance, and that's it.
That eShop doesn't function anymore, though, does it, on the Wii U?
The Wii U, it does. The Wii doesn't. They shut down.
So you can still purchase off the Wii U?
Yes. Yeah, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know who's doing that.
I was going to say, if you don't have that option, then you have no way to play that unless you find it for yourself. And
yeah.
Good luck.
And the fact that nobody bought a Wii U and there's only so many out there, like the scarcity of that console is starting to creep. And, like, I don't know. Yeah, Nintendo needs to just do better about like their history.
I mean, I will say they are doing a pretty good job of getting all the stuff that was on the Wii U back onto the Switch.
For sure,
they're doing a pretty good job.
And then charging you $60 for it. But hey, you know.
Yeah, I get it though. I mean, they didn't sell the first time. They got to make that money up somewhere. Not that necessarily Nintendo really is hurting, but
yeah.
I get it. I get what they're doing. I get it. I mean, if you didn't buy it the first time, then if it's $60 now, what's the difference? Because you didn't pay it. You didn't play it or buy it then, so whatever. I'm not going to necessarily defend it because some of that stuff I still disagree with. Some of the pricing, especially, like Advanced Wars Remaster. Come on, dude, $60. That's insane. But, you know, it is. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. But we're at that point, especially now with the Switch, where if they're not going to increase that performance, you better start putting GBA games on there, bitch. Because if you can put them on the Wii U, you can fucking put them on there, and that online service ain't worth a lot. So if you, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, we've only been fucking begging, dog. Please.
I guess that's gonna be it. I guess we'll just end it there.
Yeah.
We can save some of the stories for next week.
Just will you quickly tell me what that? There's a new Assassin's Creed game. Is that what that is?
Oh yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of funny. Bloomberg, like this morning, I'm pretty sure this happened like today. Yeah. Bloomberg released like a reported. Oh well, they took the article down or the link's wrong. I don't know. But Bloomberg basically like leaked that Ubisoft is like working on like a live service like Assassin's Creed game. Instead of doing like a yearly kind of thing, now they're going to do like a live service game where like you're a part of like the Assassins or whatever, or you're part of that organization and you go to multiple areas. Like you don't just go to like Greece or you don't just go to like, you know, Ireland or whatever. It's going to be like they're going to continually add regions and new stories and stuff to the game, but it's going to be like basically a live service, almost MMO style kind of thing.
You know, at this point, I'd try it. I'm for it. I'd like to see what they try to do.
Yeah, it's apparently called like Assassin's Creed Infinity, so I don't know.
Oh, like Halo Infinity?
Yeah, like Halo Infinity. Yeah, that one. But yeah, it's getting stale. So if they want to try to do something, why not? I don't know. Seems like it'd be.
Yeah, I honestly wish I need to play more Valhalla because I like it. The more I've played it, the more I've enjoyed it. But I still think it is a bit of a weird grind at times. And
well, it's also
and honestly the way they release content for these games, it has felt that way for a while. Because it'll be like, oh, we have like even when Origins was out, they'd be like, oh, it's the Kill Anubis event. Go find Anubis on the map, and you're like, well, that's weird for this single player game, but cool, I guess that we're doing that. I'm not against it. I think actually in Origins you killed like all 12 gods at some point, like Egyptian gods or whatever. And then they did that for Odyssey, and I guess they're doing a season 2 for this game already.
Valhalla, yeah.
So yeah, fuck it, man. Why not? I'd rather that than having to buy a new game every couple months.
For sure.
If you're gonna just add different time periods and stuff, and that could be cool. I mean, if they can make that into like some kind of open world thing with a bunch of people, like Imagine it's like, oh shit, I'm fighting a samurai. I'm a fucking Viking. It's just For Honor. They're just gonna make For
They're
Honor.
just doing For Honor, yeah.
Never mind. It's just For Honor, but an open world game instead. That's fine.
Yeah, I do think the funniest part of this story though is that like that Bloomberg article came out and then within the hour, like they had this blog post just like ready to go. Like they didn't get in front of the leak, but they were like ready to respond.
Yeah, but right behind it's just as good.
Yeah, it's a cross
Honestly,
studio
just behind
collaborative.
it's kind of better because then there's no, hey, there's no whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, that's it. Like,
Yeah.
that's true. And again, like this is interesting, but it's like, of course you're making more fucking Assassin's Creed. Duh. Duh.
Duh.
How many have you made now? 50? Duh.
Yeah, and that's kind of the
Okay.
same sentiment that I've seen people share is that like, yeah, I mean Assassin's Creed, like people are kind of fed up with live service games, but you hear Assassin's Creed live service and you're like, yeah, all right. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like I said, they've been slowly easing you into that model. And again, as far as live service games go, or games that have those elements, I mean, Ubisoft supports them. Like I can give them credit for that. Like they support those games well until I mean, I think The Crew 2 is on like year 3. What Siege is on like what 5th or 6th year. For Honor is still going. So I mean they're when they make them, they do pretty good with them, and people seem to like those games. I mean, I like The Crew 2 a lot. And
Unless you're Hyperscape.
it's not amazing.
And then they forget about you. Unless you're
Well, yeah,
Win
I mean,
some,
if nobody
lose
plays
some.
them, what responsibility do they have?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. What a dreadful. I liked that game. Just what a.
it was
Yeah,
okay.
it was all right.
It was fine.
was
But there's
alright.
too many of them.
Yeah.
That's the other thing is there's too many battle royale.
I'm
games.
done.
Still
I'm done
are,
with the
so.
battle royale genre. I'm pretty done with it. Aside from that Super Animal Royale game, which apparently is on consoles now. Yeah, I'm pretty done with battle royale.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I still play. I mean, honestly, I'll play Fortnite every now and again, but that's enough. It's the same thing as like opening any MMO, where I go, oh, I really would like to play an MMO, and I play one for like a week or a couple days, and I go, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to get back into this.
Yeah.
I'll find any free to play one, so I'm not paying for it, and go, yeah, I remember these games. And then same with that, as I'll play Fortnite, I go, yeah, all right, that's a battle royale, and then I'm out of there.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. That's it for me. I gotta hit the road.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I gotta hit the village and see if I can get my baby back.
My baby.
And then I gotta see if these demons really do have souls. And then I
Yeah.
gotta see if Ratchet can totally clank. And then I gotta see if we really are the Last of Us, the 2 Last of Us.
The real
I'll see if
Last
I
of
am
Us
the
were
God of
the
War.
friends that we made along the way.
The real God of War was in our hearts at all times.
Yeah.
We're all full of rage. So,
And I'm gonna go
yeah.
play Kingdom Hearts, Chain of Memories, probably on the Game Boy Advance. So we all have
So achievements
priorities.
Don't matter to this kid.
Yeah.
This kid don't give a fuck about his gamer score.
Hey, it's the Epic Games achievements. I can't imagine anybody gives a shit.
Did they just recently update it with that? Because I only knew of one game that had them previously.
So I was playing Kingdom Hearts and an achievement popped up, and that's how I found out. Oh, Epic
I
has
go, hey,
achievements.
little guy, what are you doing there?
I was like, wait, is this
Hey, little
game
buddy.
specific? And then no, like they added like an in-game overlay, and yeah, man.
Well, it only took 4 years. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
again, you're starting a whole new storefront. I get it, but damn if we ain't said a million times, you got the money. Fucking get her going.
Yeah.
There a
Maybe
cart
they're
yet or
getting
no?
there. I don't know. I get on Epic to buy games that I can elsewhere, which I
Nope.
haven't had to do in a while.
There is not.
And then I don't know, get a free game every once in a while. But
Yeah, I was just picking up one here, whatever the Spectrum Rectum is, or whatever that name of this game is. What is this called? The Spectrum Retreat. Okay.
yeah, whatever
That's
is.
free on that's free on Epic right now, guys. I don't know what that game is.
That
Oh yeah, I meant to ask. Do you own Yakuza 3 on Steam?
no, I do not.
Okay, well you do now.
Aw,
It's part of the
thank
humble,
you.
and I've
Thank you.
already
Actually,
got it.
hold
So,
on. Do I? Do I?
I don't know. It was this month's humble. but I think it was one of the ones that might have been separate.
Oh no, I have
initially.
Kiwami 2, which you also gave me.
Yeah. Well,
So
hey.
thank you.
Well, I have. Yeah, I have yeah. Well, then you got 3 if you want it.
Well, thank you.
Because I'm sick, and even though I own them all on Steam, I'm sort of like, I kind of want to play them on the PlayStation. Kind of want. I mean, there's achievements.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
trophies. I mean, I kind of want to just play. I just kind of want to just play it on there.
Well,
Oh God. Well, we're all ill. So hopefully you aren't also.
yeah.
And we'll see you next week. We're gonna have Pimp My Rise coming up probably this week or start of next week. I'm not sure when exactly I should put that up. But buckle up for rides getting pimped. It was a ton of fun, and we got at least 3 to 4 of those coming up, and then that should be a continual thing. I know we talked about it a little bit, but we're getting there.
We're ramping up. Yeah. Thanks for
Yeah.
listening, guys.
Thanks, guys.